Aloha, Aloha Friday, everybody. Welcome back to our first Aloha Friday show of 2023. I have Lamont with me today, and I'm excited to go down this journey of the photographic experience. Welcome in Aloha, everybody. Thank you for joining me today, a little earlier than our normal time, but I wanted to get in here early before all the hustle and bustle of the day. I'm so happy that several of you have already joined on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you for being with us today. Lamont, my brother, welcome to Aloha Friday Live, the first show of the season.
Thank you, thank you. If I knew it was Aloha, I would have wore a shirt.
It's always Aloha on Friday, brother.
Okay, now I know.
But I'm glad you're representing your company. We're going to be talking about that, folks. We're going to be talking about the photographic experience. I had the privilege of going down this journey myself with Lamont. I wanted to get him in here and talk about his process. For those of you that don't know Lamont, he is here in Central Florida, in Orlando proper. I'm sure that you can arrange something with him if it's in this area, or if he's gonna support you anyhow. So before we get into all the show and all the details of my experience, Lamont, tell us a little bit about you.
So I started my photography journey back in 2009. I went to a party. I bought a camera, went to a party, started taking pictures, and said, "I'm gonna start a business." I had no idea what I was doing. Then about 2011, I found a photographer who taught lighting. It was a course called Light is Light. And when I took that course, it completely changed who I was as a photographer. So then by 2016, I was doing everything. I was shooting weddings, I was shooting events. If you needed on it. And by 2014, I had gotten to a place where I was a little frustrated and I was going to shut down my business. And I sat down with my mom and had a conversation, and she sort of supported me. But then I heard the little voice inside told me to rebrand and relaunch. And that's what I did. And I said, well, what do I like to do? I really love connecting with people. And so I said, well, since I love connecting with people, I'm going to become a headshot photographer. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Amazing indeed. And there's these pivotal moments in our lives that somebody's going to throw something at us and we're going to say yes to or no to.
Right.
Right. These are moments that are life changing. I want to take the opportunity to welcome David Jones, my brother from another mother. Thank you, brother, for being with me. Alexander, thanks for joining us. And all of you, hey, Parade Deck, another place that I love to hang out with. We're having a great event here coming up at the end of the month. Please be apprised to that as I share those. But Lamont, back to your story, these pivotal moments where we find ourselves having to make a decision, very crucial, especially on the side of business, because one thing and one decision can derail you, and one thing and one decision can make you launch forward. So how did that decision, fare out for you?
Well, once I started really delving into headshots, what happened was I started to figure out that for me, I was looking for something special in people. And it wasn't just the say cheese smile. I really wanted to get to the heart of people. And from 2014 to 2017, I just kept redeveloping. And in 2017, 16, I dubbed my name the Expression Coach, because what I was able to do was to get people into a state of feeling in order to produce the emotion, to bring the inside out. So that's when I dubbed myself the expression coach. And ever since, I've been on a journey of finding ways to get to the heart of people, so they don't just take a picture, but they really take a captivating photo that actually draws attention, that captivates the audience.
Well, I can attest to that, and I'll divulge a little bit of my journey here. Thank you, Michelle Chimon. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you dropping in. Aloha to you. Now, folks, Lamont, like I said, is a local photographer here in Orlando. It looks like I'm in Hawaii, but hey, this is technology, right? And it is Aloha Friday. So Lamont reached out to me and said, "Hey, let's engage in some photography." And I've had several shots taken of me before. You may have seen one or two. I'll be in a blue suit. I'll be in a gray suit. You'll see those. Very nonchalant, very happy, very relaxed environments. But I can tell you that they really showed me. They really showed me. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, always laughing, always joking, always making people laugh. And they captured that essence of me. But to Lamont's point, setting up a situation where you can get a feeling extracted takes a lot of work, because number one, you have to be, as a photographer, you have to be able to do that. But secondly, the person, the subject, has to be willing to do that. And I could see it being a challenge. I went through this process with Lamont where he asked a series of questions after thinking about it. And I'm very expression bound, right? So I could express very easy. Don't tell me a sad story, because I'll be crying in a minute. But you were able to set the mood, to set the parameters of where you wanted me to go. Talk to me through this process and evoke the expression that you were desiring. And I could tell by your expression on your side that I had gotten there, but you had to get me there. So how do you do that?
So there are several things that I do. First, I sent you a personality questionnaire. That personality questionnaire helped me understand whether you are visual, kinesthetic, or auditory. That information helps me speak your language when you come into the session. Secondly, I give you the love language test quiz, because oftentimes we express in our own love language, and I often use that as a catalyst to get people into expression. More recently, and with you, Enrique, it was about infusing an emotion into the photos. And I'll say it here like I told you. People, have you ever had food that was infused with love and you can just taste the love in it? Or if you have ever listened to an artist, a music artist who is up on a stage and they're doing a performance and they just sing this song with so much emotion, different than what's on the album, and you can just feel it. Well, the same thing is true with a photo. We can infuse what we want to get out of the photo. So that's what we did. I walked you through a process, and the idea is to not just take the photo, but create a photo with a purpose that will take you to the next level.
That purpose was so evident, right? When I was sitting there and you was guiding me through this process. And the funny thing is that at first I didn't see the correlation between both surveys, right? The emotion, the love language, and things like that. You don't initially, without this knowledge that we're sharing right now, right? Without this knowledge, you initially can't connect it to what does a photo have to do with, this or that. But as I'm going through this scenario, this evolution of taking this picture that you want to capture, I started seeing through your questions that you were developing a specific kind of conversation with me based on what I already had expressed. And I tell you that that is a very seldom seen approach to photography. I've had photos before. They try to capture my essence, who I am at the moment, but none of them, and I'll tell you that right here, right now, none of them endeavored to capture the future me.
Mm.
Never.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've had other photos professionally taken that I use on a normal day to day. And when you started asking me questions about the future, it that whole thing shifted the way I was thinking about how these pictures will come out. Now, let's talk about that, because that particular piece is not in most photography sessions. So why do you focus on it?
So oftentimes what people do is they will take a picture for today. Um, you need it for a speaking engagement. You need it for a website. You need it because you just need to update it. But oftentimes, more seldom than anything, people don't think about where they're going when they take headshots. And so with my clients, it's not just about who you are today, it's also about who you are becoming, so that you actually have that version of you captured in a photo that will propel you toward that version of you. So that's how that's my process. I think we are um, I'm a firm believer in personal growth and development. I understand that as entrepreneurs, as business professionals, we want to elevate. And so, what I do with my photography is I use it as a way to help people elevate themselves as well.
And elevate, you did, right? Because as I was going through my head, and we spoke about this briefly in a post session talk, it's easy to stay where you are, and especially with photography, right? Because you want to capture me today. Today
Mhm.
I'm happy. Don't take no pictures of me tomorrow because I might be sad, right? But we always want to capture those nice moments, those happy moments in life. Uh, and it's always focused on like right now. Never have I ever went through, and I said this before, that the future is in mind. But when I started seeing that future me, I'll tell you that even I had a hesitation to go towards that future me, because although you already had, pulled out this emotion, you pulled out this look, it was foreign.
Mhm.
It was foreign, right? So usually things that are foreign, we don't even go around. And so because it was foreign by sight, which is funny, it was foreign by sight, but not foreign by inside my heart, right?
Mhm.
It's just one of those things you try to keep near and dear. And although you want to see this of you, it was so foreign visually that I almost started to kind of pull away from it, not realizing that, I do leadership development. And for those that are listening, I do leadership development. Be careful, right? And that's the lesson I kind of got there. Be careful not to hinder yourself from the future you, because you're comfortable with the present you. Oh
Mhm.
boy, I'm about to preach. I'm about to preach in here. Don't do that, because we all have goals, we all have dreams, we all have a place that we want to be. But let me tell you, when you visually see that person, you may not kind of agree, and it's you. So we were talking about that particular, thing, right? And so what I liked about this particular session was, and already I liked the way you was approaching this, but when you realized that I was going down this road, right? You did something. So tell me about that particular something that you did.
Um, so, uh, so what I did, and I hope I'm recalling this right. If this is the point you make. So I called you.
Yeah.
I called you and I said, "Hey, let's have a conversation," because the three photos that you selected, they all had the same smile.
Mm.
And so, and when I saw that, I said, wait a minute, we had already infused some emotion, we had already infused the emotion of where you were going into the photo. And so I started looking through and I said, okay, let me get them on the phone. Let's get on a Zoom and let's have a conversation. Because I wanted to find out, first of all, why you selected those photos. And secondly, were you open to actually getting those photos that really speak to where you're going? And it was a great conversation.
Yeah, and folks, this is another leadership. This is another leadership tip. Okay, at what he just said. When your people, like leaders, tend to pick out folks that are going somewhere. It's kind of easy, right? And sometimes leaders see potential in others that immediately don't show they're going somewhere, but they can see it, right? When you see those things as leaders, it's up to you to get them there. They're not going to believe it. We never believe it, right? People, I see you. I've had so many people throughout my life, especially in ministry. I see you over here and you're like in front of thousands of people and you're like giving life and doing all this. And I'm like, praise God, right? I know he can do it. There's no question there. The question is, can I do it? Right? Can I willingly just give all I am to follow in that which has just been birthed in me, right? So, as leaders, we have to be able to recognize when the person is not willing and how to re-engage them to get them to a point where they are willing. And it takes a lot of conversation sometimes, right? It's not just one phone call, right? But good on you, Lamont, to recognize that by my choice, I was focusing on today and not what you had kind of guided me to get to in the pictures that, because I look at folks, what was funny is I'm sitting there in this session and Lamont snaps a picture, right? After he talks me through this whole thing, he snaps a picture. And what happens is he snaps a picture, he turns to the side, and he looks at his screen, right? He looks at his screen and he goes, oh, oh, that's that right there. That is it. And then I looked because he got excited. So now I'm excited. And I'm going and I'm looking and I look and I said, oh, who's that? Woo. And I was like, yo, that is power. And I said, ooh, my wife ain't gonna like that. Right. But it was a person I had not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me. So good on you, Lamont, to initiate that callback and say, and this is what was so nice about how you approached that, right? You said, hey, can we talk so that I may be able to add value? You didn't say, hey, you picked you picked three pictures that don't even go with what we talked about. You didn't go into anything like that. You said that I may be able to add value in the conversation. And so, that whole stepping through was very methodical, very well thought out. And Michelle says this. I'm gonna put this on there so we both can read it. He goes, as leaders, we are often focused on the present, but headshot, right? Uh, that examines where we want to be is a great opportunity to frame the future while serving as a tool to motivate and manifest. This is a great discussion. Thank you for that, Michelle. Sometimes when we see it visually, it could be a scary thing, right? My wife last night, we were just talking, common talk, and we were talking about, that day where we're gonna not be around, right? And she's like, man, that would be scary if you knew the day, right? If you knew the day. And I said, I said, no, I wouldn't be scared. I wouldn't be afraid if I knew that. I think that would make some impressions on me. Obviously, if you knew, let's say it was 15 minutes from now, what are you gonna do? Right? But if you didn't know, some people would be impressed to the point where they would just dedicate their life to whatever it is they love, and typically it's family. But back to the picture, right? Back to the picture. You stepped me through this process, and it was so smooth. And so we had a conversation, right? And in that conversation, you were explaining how we had gone through the process, and you had stepped me through this process to get to a picture that you were excited about, and then I was excited about it. I said that picture that's money. That's money. And we were talking about money, right? So for
Right.
all you entrepreneurs out there that are thinking you're going to make hand over fist, a good 90% of people that are entrepreneurs don't make hand over fist, right? So, but in that shot, in that moment, this brother was making hand over fist.
Right.
Right? I was. And so you captured that. And so what did you feel when you finally got the picture that you thought you wanted to capture?
So like you and I discussed, Enrique, it was about getting where your next highest level would be, dreaming and creating something that would seem nearly impossible, but we infused the emotion into that photo to create the possibility. And when I saw it, I said, "Yep, that's the look right there. That's the look of someone who is making $100,000 to do what you do in for a business, right?" So it's really about taking on that look, that feel for what you're going for, and embodying it in your headshot so that you can attract it. And that's what we did.
And you did that. I saw it. I was like,
We
wow.
did it. We
Yeah.
did it. It was
Yeah.
it's a collaboration.
It was a like I said mentioned earlier, right? You drive the people, but you got to get them to the point where they're willing to get there. Um, which was a whole a wonderful process to go through. Um, there are some people that you're going to take pictures of, get them there, and they'll revert. Right? Fear is a thing, and sometimes fear of success is a thing. I know it full well because I used to have that. Back in the day, I used to have fear of success. But what's funny is that in my selection choices, I still showed some level of fear of success. So it hasn't gone away, right? All right, brother. Thank you, Dave, for popping in, brother. Love you, man. We'll talk. We'll chat soon. Um, uh, and um, and so I realized that as well, that there was some still lingering feeling of fear of success because of my selection. You know, although I teach leadership development and I eat, breathe it, and speak it, we're still human, and we have these elements that are still lingering that we have to deal with. So for those leaders out there that think you got it all in the bag, wait till you get an opportunity to express yourself, and you'll see that it's not all there. So thank you for highlighting that through this process. It wasn't probably intended, but that's what happened.
Right.
And growth did happen even in a photographic type of session. So Lamont, you got me to this picture, right? And we're both like, oh man, that's it. That is it. I kind of reneged there in a in a way. You bring me through this process to get me back on board, and I already had made up my mind that uh, because this is important. When there's an artist, when there's a person that has this ability to do a thing, and you subject yourself under that person, because this happens to me all the time when I'm doing consulting for leadership development. You have to trust the master. You have to trust the person that has the ability to get you there, or else you will stay exactly where you are. You know, in my walk in faith, I have to trust the master, or else I'm going to stay stuck to the things that have bound me for all these, for all of my life. And so if you aim as a professional, entrepreneur, a business person, a leader, a teacher, whatever, scientist, whatever you may put the name to, if you want to be somewhere else tomorrow than you are today, you have to trust a process. And if you go against the process, what you're saying is that you're not ready. So for those of you listening and you're trying to get somewhere, make up your mind, but do it right and understand that you are the one executing that choice. It's not the master, it's not the process, it's not the equipment or anything. Your willingness to get there is what will get you there. So I hope for those of you listening and all that, you are making sure that you're willing. So I said, hey, Lamont, brother, you got me there. I'm gonna go with what you got, right? And so um you thanked me for that. You thanked me for trusting you and allowing you to do what you do best. And so, folks, those pictures will come out here pretty soon. And I'm gonna tell you that it's not the me you've seen. I'll tell you that because it's not even the me I've seen. But I wanted to thank you for taking that time deliberately, structuring the way you did, getting me to the point where I could re-engage the trust factor to what you had done at the studio. And I'm gonna tell everybody right now, y'all gonna be blown away when you see these things. And so if someone, Lamont, is looking for that type of exploration, because it really is, it was not just pictures. You wasn't just snapping pictures. It was truly an exploration of me, an excavation, I could say as well, of emotions that I know I have of my future, and then the ability to take those two things and capture it in a shot. So if someone was interested in that type of experience, how would they get a hold of you? Uh, yeah, share that.
Sorry. My website is www.lamontgphotography.com. That's lamontgphotography.com. You can also That's where you can find me. Just search for Lamonte G Photography or search for the Expression Coach, and you can reach out to me.
And I will also add, folks, that he is on LinkedIn, and you can reach out to him, Lamonte Gwynn. That's like you see it on your screen, and he'll be happy to connect and engage. You know, that whole process that we went through, obviously led me to referring you to another lady entrepreneur that I know, and I'm sure you guys will connect here soon. But it goes to say that when you're executing your trade, your gift, whatever it is that you are doing, make sure that you're doing it with the person that you're servicing in mind, right? And Lamont did that. He really took the time to see who I was and what made me tick. He also took the time to bring out in me what my ideal future looked like. And then as he was taking, me through this journey, was able to get me to the point where he could capture who that person was. And I really appreciate that. I am just anxious in a good way to be able to share your work with the world. When those things do arrive at my destination, I'll make sure to put it out there on LinkedIn and the social media platforms that we put. But if there's anything you would like to tell a potential client here of yours here in the near future, something that you want them to hear, what would that be?
I would just say, when it comes to taking photos, most photographers can take a photo with great lighting. But if you want that special experience, if you want to be able to really captivate your target audience and learn through the process, it is a learning experience. And that's what I love about it. When people leave the studio, when my clients leave the studios, they say, wow, I've never experienced this before. And even if you hate taking photos, still reach out to me because I can help you.
Absolutely. Help indeed. And folks, so I encourage you to reach out to Lamont. LinkedIn is where I found him. He's actually here locally, so I've been able to run into him a couple of times. But he does a great job, not just because of what the product that he produces, but I am one to attest to the experience. And so, we've covered that today. Talking about experiences, that we have our YouTube channel. We are trying to reach 400 subscribers. There are a lot of you out there that would like to get complimentary leadership coaching and development. That's where you'll get it. So if you look us up, DTLW Podcast on YouTube, you can do us a favor and subscribe to the things that you are liking. So please help us get there. For Aloha Friday Live, the first one of 2023. Lamont, thank you for being with me today. Thank you for the work that you did. And folks, we'll be following on every Friday, 11:30. We'll get on here. There are some sessions that are at 1. I'll let you all know. But for right now, everybody, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Aloha Friday, everybody. A big mahalo to Lamont. Thank you for being with us.
Mahalo to you too.